And welcome to the lab, where good chemistry meets great storytelling. My name is George Sells. I'm Director of Client Services and Content here at Chemistry PR and Multimedia, joined by...
Chris Kuban, CEO and founder of Chemistry PR Multimedia.
Or as we like to call him, the Grand Poobah, if you want to go with that. Something
That's
along
funny.
those lines.
Thanks, George.
Hey, absolutely. So, Season 1, Episode 1, hopefully one of many. And why are we all here, Chris? Give us the existential philosophical question.
Oh, well, why? Why? Well, chemistry was formed as a way to create multiple messages and multiple medias to create your solution, which is return on investment. However, most organizations don't know that you need to come up with a home base. And your messaging, all it has to boil down to one specific message that people can understand. And it has to be a benefit to them. So when we bring on a client, the first thing we do is identify what is that home base and what does that home base mean to them, the why. Why are they so important? What do they do? Can we boil it down into one home base message? And we call it home base for a number of reasons. Number one is in baseball, you want to get across home plate as many times as possible. So you have to get home as many times as possible. And the more times you get home or say your home base, your home message, you win the game. And I mean, also, when you're home, you feel comfortable. So you feel comfortable when you talk about your home base. And we build these message maps through a message map strategy session that really help our clients out.
And that's the purpose of today. Now, we're going to go through these episodes and we'll have guests. We'll be talking about different things that are useful to people who are in the PR, marketing, communications industry and people who just have needs. People who want to know a little bit more about how to deliver their own message. Maybe they aren't going to hire a firm or maybe they're looking for a firm. We'll see what happens. But the idea is to provide some information that is useful every time. And so we're going to start this one out kind of talking about what Chris is referring to, and not just the home base, but the idea of a condensed message. The idea of keeping it short, having not just your 30-second elevator pitch, but maybe even a headline that's even more condensed than that. Because how often do you ask somebody, hey, what do you do? And the answer you get has you like scratching your eyeballs out trying to escape because it's gone on for 20 minutes.
Seems like people always get stuck in the weeds and they talk about what they do, but 45 minutes later, you're still trying to figure out what do they do. And you got to figure it out you got to catch their attention. Just nowadays with social media, that first 3 to 6 seconds is the most important thing. I mean, if you can get them in 3 seconds, that is awesome. That little soundbite. And if you can talk in sound bites, you grab their attention, you grab their hearts, you grab their minds. They understand what you're talking about.
And the word bite is kind of key there. It's kind of bite-sized. It's not the whole lengthy thing. I come from a news background, and in the news business, they talk about sound bites, and you hear this in politics a lot too. And it's that 10, 15-second clip that they're going to cut out of an interview, and they're going to put that in the story, and that is supposed to represent a significant piece of information that is going to be a big portion of a 2-minute story or so. And being able to have that 15 seconds, I mean, we've seen it matter for so many people.
Oh, absolutely. And when they use that soundbite, they're also going to use B-roll over that soundbite, which is little clips of video that they're going to show the story visually while they explain the story through the soundbite. And we do that a lot with our clients with a docu-style type of videos to where we showcase who they are, what they do, why they do it in a very short marketing video by just using those sound bites based off of the message map.
So let's get to that heart of the matter, the message mapping. That is really the heart of what we do, a process that we use all the time. And it's the idea of really condensing down to the single most important point about a business, about a nonprofit, about an association. Talk a little bit about how that works.
Well, we get a group of their key stakeholders. So whether it's the board members, whether it's volunteers, donors, the president or executive director of the organization together in one room. It could be 5 people or it could be 10 people. And we really dig deep to identify how do they talk about the organization. And this is how you verbally talk about the organization. And some people have ideas of what they want to get across is more important than others. And you really dive down as what is most important. How do you build that brand? How do you build a cohesive message that everyone is on the same page? And you work through that over the course of several hours, and you come up with one page, which is a one-page roadmap of how to build that message map. And what's really cool about it is we had a client recently in the wood industry in the state of Missouri, And the main message is real wood improves lives and makes homes better. That is your home base. The what's in it for me. It improves lives and it makes homes better. But that's your home base. And then you have the positive proof points all the way around it. And we were able to go into whether it was a sawmill, whether it was a pallet manufacturer, a bourbon barrel manufacturer, a railroad tie manufacturer, a whether it was a flooring manufacturer, and use this one piece of paper, this message map, in each one of those facilities and ask them questions based on the strategy and the messaging that we wanted to get across in every one of those areas across the state of Missouri.
Okay, so a couple of things. First of all, the importance of this also lies in being able to get everybody in the organization on the same page. But how often, like if you're an association person, if you are basically anybody who works with anybody else, and you know exactly this is what we want to present our story as, this is our message, and you've got a company president who says something different every time, and you've got a board member who says something else different every time, and it gets all over the place. Anybody can memorize that central message and maybe a couple of the things that are lined to it, and all of a sudden you've got everybody singing from the same songbook.
Without a doubt. These are sound bites that are written on one piece of paper that are key takeaways or key points that you can point to and talk from. So everyone's message might be a little bit different, or their storyline might be a little bit different, but the message is going to be the same. And the cool part about this is when you have this message map ready to go, you can keep it in your car, you can keep it in your file. Anytime that a reporter calls you or anytime you want to talk about the organization, you take 2 minutes beforehand and prep yourself with the message map in front of you and you have your key talking points. And in some cases, if a reporter's coming to do a story with you on your organization and you want them to highlight all the key talking points or they don't know anything about your organization, you provide them the message map beforehand and they'll ask you all the questions about your organization based off of the message map that you provide them. And that's happened in several instances with a couple of our clients.
And it's not just reporters either. I mean, this is useful, obviously, in that context, but it's also useful pitching your business to someone. If you're going for a new client, it's useful at that cocktail party where somebody just says, "Hey, what do you guys do?"
Oh, think about your marketing brochures and your website, your content, your emails that you send out. Having everything on the same messaging strategy is really important to get everyone on the same page and everyone talking in the same way about your company.
And how does this work practically? And I think the best example, and I'll start the story, had a client come in and asked him to tell us about his business. Basic thing. He had not gone through the message mapping yet. And this is someone, it's a nonprofit. They do great work for kids. There is not a human on this earth that is more dedicated to the work that he does within his organization. And he started talking and kept going and kept going and literally went on for nearly 40 minutes, never quite coming around the bend to the point. And it was just it wasn't frustrating. It was just kind of like we knew exactly what we needed to do first after that conversation.
We did our research before we had the meeting, so we knew exactly what they did and what the organization was about. And the frustrating part was sort of listening to him through the process of how he explained the organization is that he could have explained it realistically in about 2 minutes.
Or less.
Or less, and had us all bought in. But we listened for 40 minutes to understand fully what his organization was all about, his passion behind it, and why. And we helped him. We brought all of his board members together. We brought some of his volunteers and donors into one room and did the message mapping strategy session. And during that session, a light bulb went on, kind of like the aha moment. And he realized the impact and the importance of having a concise message to just have people, it makes a difference. And he realized the difference it made. So he left that message mapping strategy session, and the next time, which was less than a week, he had a meeting with a donor. He basically, within 4 minutes, had that donor on board, committed, and writing a check.
And this was a donor, should point out, who had turned him down in the past.
Yes.
And so talk about just a complete 180. This donor had turned him down. This is a pretty big donor, too, for this organization. Turned him down in the past. He comes to him. He employs a little bit of the strategy, and all of a sudden there's a check in the mail. That's a big deal.
Well, and the cool part is now that everybody was part of this message mapping strategy session, the entire team is on board with speaking in one cohesive message, with one cohesive main message, the home base, and everyone now is trained in talking about the organization. And the cool part is that we then produced a video interviewing everybody using this main message and the message map strategy, in that we produced a 3-minute marketing video that is going to be a tearjerker at their gala and get people to really open up their purse strings and touch their heartstrings and really donate even more.
We talk about stories that move people, and that's a double entendre there. Obviously, we want stories that will be moving and will touch the heart and all that, but also that move people to action. And the heart of moving people to action is making them understand the why. And this basic concept of keeping your message condensed, really to the point, is something that will move people in the direction you need them to move, whether it's to spend money or volunteer or do whatever
direction.
else.
I mean, think of it back in the days before we had GPS. I mean, a message map is kind of like GPS. Is if you don't have it, you don't know where you're going. But as soon as you have a message map, you know exactly where you're going. It's like GPS. Is you can get there straight to the point and know exactly what you're going to talk about and how to get there. And that's really what we do, is we help people bring these big, complex concepts, whittle it down so people can understand them very easily. And then we build marketing strategies and public relations strategies and campaigns around that to really target their target market.
But even for the person who, not everybody is going out and hiring an agency. Not everybody can afford to do that. But even for the person with a one person shop or whatever, you can work with some of these fundamentals, if you will.
Oh, without a doubt. You need to know who you are, what you do, why you do it, and how you do it. You get that across in the simplest way so people understand.
And understanding is key to all of it, isn't it now? Well, we want to thank you for joining us. And if you want to map to us, please go to www.chemistrymultimedia.com, where you will find everything you need to know and a way to reach out to us if you want to. If you have any questions, anything we can do for you, reach out to us.
And we'll provide several links on message map strategy sessions. And if you'd like to talk to us about how to do a session, or if you'd like us to provide you with a session, we can do that as well.
And we're also looking at ideas for this podcast. Since this is the first one and we're kind of figuring it out as we go along, we intend to bring in some guests, do some different things. So if you have an idea for a topic you'd like to hear about, or somebody you think would be a great guest that could shine some light on something, please reach out to us. Please let us know. There's contact information on the website. Again, it is chemistrymultimedia.com. So that's it. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Sells.
Chris Kuban, thank you for joining us.
See you soon.